there seems to be no respite for Manish Sisodia, who is behind bars for his alleged role in the Delhi's discredited excise policy. While Rouse Avenue Court has reserved its order on the Enforcement Directorate's plea seeking 10-day custody of the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister, his CBI case bail plea will now only be heard on the 21st of March. However, even as legal battle plays out in the court, simultaneous political slugfest is also peaking. Arvind Kejriwal came out to eulogize Sisodia, comparing him to Prahlad, but the BJP is only upping the ante, predicting that it will be Kejriwal next.
देखिए, आरोप तो लगते रहेंगे जब तक केंद्र सरकार भारतीय जनता पार्टी की है। हर अपोजिशन लीडर के ऊपर आरोप भी लगेंगे, उसके ऊपर सीबीआई ईडी के छापे भी लगेंगे। और मनीष सिसोदिया जी के पास ऑफर था, अगर वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी में चले जाते तो आज दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री होते। ये ऑफर था उनके पास। आज मनीष जी आम आदमी पार्टी के साथ खड़े हैं, इसलिए जेल में हैं। अच्छा देखिए, बहुत ही भद्दे और फूहड़ अंदाज में भारतीय जनता पार्टी आज दिल्ली के सामने आती है। जब जब उन्होंने इस तरीके की घटिया प्रचार सामग्री दिल्ली के सामने पेश की है। देखिए, ईडी को इसलिए लाया गया है ताकि मनीष जी को लंबे समय तक जेल में रखा जा सके।
देखिए, ये कहीं ना कहीं अब एक सर्वविदित सत्य हो गया है कि मनीष सिसोदिया के खिलाफ कोई सबूत नहीं है। दरअसल नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार और भारतीय जनता पार्टी उनको परेशान करना चाहती है, आम आदमी पार्टी और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को बदनाम करना चाहती है, और मनीष सिसोदिया को जेल में रखना उनका मकसद है। मनीष सिसोदिया का उत्पीड़न करना उनका मकसद है। वरना आप मुझे बताइए, मनीष सिसोदिया के घर पे 14 घंटे तक छापेमारी हुई, कुछ नहीं निकला। गांव में छापेमारी हुई, कुछ नहीं निकला। तो जबरदस्ती एक आदमी को इस पूरे मामले में मुख्य साजिशकर्ता आप बना रहे हैं।
हमारी ये मांग है कि इस पूरे घोटाले के सरगना सूत्रधार अरविंद केजरीवाल हैं। तो मनीष सिसोदिया तो झांकी है, अरविंद केजरीवाल बाकी है। अरविंद केजरीवाल को इस्तीफा देना होगा। अरविंद केजरीवाल को कथाएं पढ़ने दो। हमारे प्रोटेस्ट लगातार जारी हैं। दिल्ली की जनता की लड़ाई हम लड़ रहे हैं। दिल्ली की जनता जानती है कि शराब की काली कमाई से इन्होंने अपना मुंह काला किया है, इसलिए होली नहीं मनाई। इसलिए अरविंद केजरीवाल को इस्तीफा देना होगा। देखिए, आज से 10 महीने पहले आप लोग नहीं मानते थे मनीष सिसोदिया इस्तीफा देंगे। दिल्ली की जनता जीत रही है। आज हम फिर कह रहे हैं अरविंद केजरीवाल को भी इस्तीफा देना होगा।
में सौरभ भारद्वाज और तमाम लोगों ने कई बार प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके कहा कि मनीष सिसोदिया को ईडी गिरफ्तार करेगी, ईडी गिरफ्तार करेगी। तो इसको आम भाषा में कहा जाता है चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका। तो कहीं ना कहीं ये लोग जानते थे कि मनीष सिसोदिया का नाम इन्वॉल्व है मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, जो पैसा देश से बाहर कहीं लिया दिया गया है, उसमें मनीष सिसोदिया इन्वॉल्व हैं और उसमें उसके माध्यम से ये कहीं ना कहीं पकड़ में आने वाले हैं।
My colleagues Harish Nair as well as Priyank Tripathi joining us on the broadcast on the arguments that were made in the court in the role of Manish Sisodia in the entire Liquorgate case in forming the excise policy. What are the allegations against Manish Sisodia? Harish, as of now, the hearing in the bail plea has come to an end, but as far as the Enforcement Directorate is concerned, it is seeking Manish Sisodia's remand for another 10 days for confronting him with what they call new evidence that has been found in the case. What are the details?
Yes, that's right, Pratibha. After a 2.5 hour long marathon hearing, now the Rouse Avenue Court has reserved its order on the ED application seeking 10 days of remand of Manish Sisodia. At the same time, what has come as a setback for Manish Sisodia is that the court has deferred the hearing on CBI's bail plea. In fact, Manish Sisodia's bail plea in the CBI case to March 21st, which essentially means that...
Okay, all right. So now he, even if his custody comes to an end, he could be in the Enforcement Directorate's custody. But Priyank, the Enforcement Directorate also made several new revelations. They said that in the course of the investigation, there are new evidences that have come out against Manish Sisodia, very clearly also mentioning that there were 14 phones that had been used by Manish Sisodia, pointing at Sisodia wanting to destroy evidence to derail the entire investigation in the case.
But Pratibha, before that, there's a breaking input which is coming up that the enforcement directorate has got police remand of Manish Sisodia till 17th of March by the orders of the Rayos Avenue Court. A very extensive hearing has happened in this case, which started from 2 p.m. today, where Manish Sisodia was produced before the court, and it ended at 4 p.m. And as it was expected, since there was a voluminous document, lengthy remand note, which was also produced before the court by the enforcement directorate. The big input which we are getting from for our viewers is that Manish Sisodia has been sent to police remand for the enforcement directorate till 17th of March. As you can see, the deployment has already increased here from the Delhi police side, fearing that there could be a possible protest from the Aam Aadmi Party workers. That's why this area of the enforcement directorate office, which is the headquarters of ED, has turned into fortress. All the roads which are leading towards the ED headquarters has been barricaded. There are multiple layers of barricade which has been put in by the Delhi police officials. The argument was very lengthy. The enforcement directorate wanted to confront Manish Sisodia with 3 to 4 individuals who have already been summoned by them. The ED will also try to confront Manish Sisodia with K. Kavita, who has been summoned by the enforcement directorate tomorrow. So, starting from today till 17th of March, Manish Sisodia has been sent to police remand of the enforcement directorate. At the same time, the court has also shifted the matter of the bail hearing in the CBI case for 21st of March. So big input coming out from the Rayos Avenue Court. The Manish Sisodia has been sent to police remand of the enforcement directorate till 17th of March.
Okay, so this is a big setback for Manish Sisodia. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party leaders have also been saying the same. The court has now remanded Sisodia to ED custody till the 17th of March. So the setback for the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister. Bhavtosh also live with us. Bhavtosh, Enforcement Directorate now getting the custody of Manish Sisodia. New evidence that had been provided in the court as well, talking of the kind of evidence that the Enforcement Directorate, the central agency, has against Manish Sisodia.
Yes, Pratibha, at least prima facie it appears that some of the points that were raised in the long arguments that were given by the Enforcement Directorate has been, at least cognizance of those arguments has been taken by the court, and that is the reason why 7-day custody has been given to the Enforcement Directorate, as Priyank was also showing that that security arrangements outside the Enforcement Directorate office has obviously been increased, because from here the cars of Enforcement Directorate will go inside, and he will be in fact questioned for next 1 week at this office of Enforcement Directorate, and tomorrow would be the big day, at least after 7-8 months of probe, that K. Kavita will be confronted not only with Arun Ramchandra Pillai but also with Manish Sisodia. So big developments will take place tomorrow on Saturday, when K. Kavita, Telangana Chief Minister's daughter, will be confronted with Manish Sisodia and also with Arun Ramchandra Pillai, and that could be the reason why the security arrangements outside Enforcement Directorate headquarters have completely been beefed up, and security has been increased. In fact, generally here the arrangements are not so heavy, but today, for the very fact that the then Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi will be being brought here in next 20 to 25 minutes, he will be brought here and will be questioned. Unlike previously when he was in the custody of the CBI, there used to be a lot of protest outside CBI headquarters. No such thing is happening today at APJ Kalam Road. No protest is taking place. But the kind of arguments that happened in the court of Special Judge M.K. Nagpal clearly means that CBI has presented a lot of evidence in the court, including the fact that Manish Sisodia was aware of the fact that there was tweaking of the excise policy, that the profit margin increased from 5% to 12%, and that was one of the grounds on which the Enforcement Directorate presented their side of the story. They in fact said that this was done deliberately. The very fact that South Group had already the knowledge of the excise policy 3 days in advance. These were the arguments that were presented by the Enforcement Directorate. In fact, I will just forward the remand note that has been given by the Enforcement Directorate in the court. This is the remand note that has been submitted by the Enforcement Directorate in the courtroom. We can show it to to our viewers. This is the 58-page remand note that was submitted in the courtroom, and it in fact has all the details of the arguments that were made by the Enforcement Directorate. So this is the basic argument of the Enforcement Directorate today when the custody of Manish Sisodia was being taken while Manish Sisodia custody was being sought.
Okay, all right. Stay on with us. We have more breaking inputs also coming in, reactions also coming in from the BJP. Remember, the Enforcement Directorate in its arguments has said that Manish Sisodia is giving contradictory statements. Now, the BJP welcoming the court order as the Enforcement Directorate has been given custody. Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP saying Satyamev Jayate, Kattar corrupt Manish gets no relief from the court. Also saying that this calls for Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister's resignation. The BJP welcoming the court order. The court has now remanded Manish Sisodia to custody. So he is going to be in Enforcement Directorate custody. Reactions coming in from the BJP as well. But remember, politics has also been playing out over the same. Shivam Chhabra, spokesperson of the BJP, as well as Anjali Damania, political analyst, joining us on the broadcast. Ms. Anjali, how do you look at this development? The court has now sent Manish Sisodia to custody of the Enforcement Directorate.
You know what, it's such a pity that we are exposing all the most nonsensical things before, the whole world. I mean, India's name is getting tarnished and tarnished so badly. What needs to be done is first, the PMLA Act needs to be amended. I'm not saying that corruption charges against a politician should not be investigated. Do it, but do it in the proper style. The ECIR, after an ECIR is filed, within 30 days, the matter should be investigated.
Okay. In fact, we have more reactions also coming in. Mr. Sanjay Singh also addressing the media. My apologies. Let's cut across to that reaction.
और जुर्म में आपने मनीष सिसोदिया को जेल में रखा है, बताइए आप। कोई जवाब नहीं है। जवाब सिर्फ एक है, आम आदमी पार्टी को किसी तरीके से रोको, मनीष सिसोदिया को किसी भी तरीके से जेल में रखो, और जो भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और उनके मित्र के ऊपर लग रहे हैं, उस अडानी के घोटाले से ध्यान भटकाने के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो भ्रष्टाचार में सर से पांव तक डूबी हुई है, उस भ्रष्टाचार से ध्यान हटाने के लिए ये रोज नए नए ड्रामे, नई नई कहानियां, नई नई सीबीआई के किस्से, नए नए ईडी के किस्से आ रहे हैं। इसका न सिर है न पांव है, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी तो वो पार्टी बन गई है जिसमें जो जितना बड़ा भ्रष्टाचारी वो उतना बड़ा पदाधिकारी। आप सोचिए, वाटर स्कैम का आरोप हेमंत विश्व शर्मा पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने लगाया, फिर उसको मुख्यमंत्री बना दिया। मुकुल राय पर शारदा स्कैम का आरोप लगाया, फिर उसको राष्ट्रीय उपाध्यक्ष बना दिया। शुभेंदु अधिकारी पर शारदा स्कैम के भ्रष्टाचार की जांच चलती है, फिर उसको लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन बंगाल का बना दिया। नारायण राणे पर लैंड स्कैम, जमीन के घोटाले का मामला चलता है सीबीआई में, फिर उनको केंद्रीय मंत्री बना दिया जाता है। अजीत पवार पर चक्की पिसिंग कह के सिंचाई घोटाले का 40,000 करोड़ का आरोप लगाया जाता है, फिर 6:30 बजे सुबह देवेंद्र फडणवीस के साथ मिलकर शपथ ले ली जाती है। येदियुरप्पा पर माइनिंग घोटाले का आरोप लगता है, फिर उनको मुख्यमंत्री बना दिया जाता है। शिवराज सिंह पर व्यापम घोटाले का आरोप लगता है, फिर उनको मुख्यमंत्री बना दिया जाता है। तो बीजेपी का नारा है, जो जितना बड़ा भ्रष्टाचारी वो उतना बड़ा पदाधिकारी। ये इनकी हालत है, ये इनकी हालत है। पूरा देश देख रहा है। प्रधानमंत्री जी, आप में जरा सा भी नैतिक साहस है तो आइए और बताइए मनीष सिसोदिया के घर पे क्या रिकवरी हुई, बताइए इतने सारे छापेमारियों के बाद कितना कैश मिला, क्या क्या बरामदगी हुई, बताइए पूरे देश को। और जहां बरामदगी होती है वहां पर आंख पर पट्टी बांध लेते हो आप लोग। वहां आपकी सीबीआई, वहां आपकी ईडी, वहां आपकी जांच एजेंसियां ऐसे मामलों में गजनी मोड में चली जाती है, गजनी मोड में। याददाश्त ही खो जाती है जब बीजेपी एमएलए के बेटे के घर 8 करोड़ रुपए निकलता है, कैश में मोटी मोटी गड्डियां सामने आती है, उसको जमानत मिल जाती है, उसके खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई नहीं होती। जब अडानी का घोटाला सामने आता है, मॉरिशस में एक पते पर 6
All right, Manish Sisodia, the remand copy has been accessed on Times Now, and we have the remand note which speaks about the enforcement directorate and the evidence that it has received in the case. So let me go across to Shivam on that. Mr. Shivam, the charge that is coming from the Aam Aadmi Party yet again is that this is political vendetta. Look at the timing. Where is the money that the enforcement directorate is talking about? It was not found in Manish Sisodia's residence or any of his properties. So what is the enforcement directorate talking about?
Time they do it. What the ED has got, what CBI has got, that is on record, and that would be presented at the right platform, right point of time. We don't need to present it to Arvind Kejriwal. We don't need to present it to the Manish Sisodia, and I think the agency does not need to present it to Sanjay Singh. What all he's bloating. I mean, what all he was saying, I was just hearing to him. What all he's saying is all a pack of lies manufactured in the AAPS, another factory. Unfortunately, they don't bother to answer the straight questions put against them. What made them bring out the Delhi's liquor policy and outrightly,
so you're saying that the questions that the enforcement directorate has been asking, there's been no answers coming forth from the Aam Aadmi Party leader even now. Bhavtosh Singh, my colleague, joining us with details of the remand note by the enforcement directorate. Bhavtosh, take us through the details that have been mentioned in the note.
Pratibha, this is the longest remand note that has been submitted by the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, 12th accused was arrested yesterday by the Enforcement Directorate after Manish Sisodia was questioned on 2 occasions for 6 hours. And the 58-page remand note is the longest that Enforcement Directorate has ever submitted in the court. And it has virtually all the details as to how this scam or alleged scam has taken place. And it gives point-by-point account of the scam that happened. Remember, Enforcement Directorate is a secondary agency on its own. It cannot take over any investigation. It had taken cognizance of the CBI FIR. Now, what it says is that the group of ministers did not take into account the legal opinion. It goes into how the legal opinion was ignored of the expert committee, and then it goes into the group of ministers that was formed. The group of ministers consisted of Kailash Gehlot, Satyendra Jain and Manish Sisodia. Then subsequently discusses how the excise policy report was leaked to South Group, and then more importantly how the profit margin was increased from 5% to 12%, a fact that we all know, and then how the South Group allegedly paid kickbacks. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Let me also go across to Priya Bahl, who's joining us with the remand note. Bhavtosh has accessed this remand note, Priya, that mentions the arguments that the Enforcement Directorate had also mentioned on the allegations against Manish Sisodia.
Right, and apart from the arguments, one point where all the arguments converge is the money trail. How much money is involved in this scam? This has been the bedrock of argument, whether it comes to the ED or this Sisodia team, because Manish Sisodia has been saying that not a single penny has been so far traced back to him. Here, this 60-odd page long remand note is where it mentions about proceeds of crime. It says that on the basis of above, all the arguments that they have listed before this page, proceeds of crime of at least 292.8 crores calculated as on date, which is likely to increase during the course of investigation, is attributable with respect to role of Sri Manish Sisodia. Here is a breakdown of those 293 crores. Kickbacks received from the South Group, 100 crore rupees profit of Indo Spirits as per Excise Department letter dated 29th of September 2022. 192 crores. Now today, while making its arguments in court, ED, remember very importantly, had said that Manish Sisodia was the one who had ordered that license should be given to this particular company, Indo Spirits. Here, back to you.
Okay, all right. So after the arguments in the court, after which Manish Sisodia was sent to 7-day custody, reactions coming in from the counsels in that case. Let's cut across.
Has reached Mr. Sisodia or not?
Not at all.
But
Not an
पहली
idea.
बार पहली बार अरविंद केजरीवाल का नाम लिया गया और संजय सिंह का नाम लिया गया कि
It is in the some statement given by the some witnesses, not by the ED in any of that. That was referred.
What was actually said in the remand application? What are the
There are 50 pages.
What are the evidences that the ED is talking about?
I would say that 58 pages of the remand application, all blown up allegations, nothing substantial, and not a single iota of an evidence.
Okay, big political developments expected. Reactions also coming in. Thanking Priya and Bhavtosh for joining us on the broadcast with those inputs. Slipping into a quick break here. We'll be right back.